Good evening, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's April the 18th. I'm Anna Heim, and this is AresCyberEssentials. Over the bank holiday weekend, I bumped into a couple of girlfriends while I was coming back from the bike show, the bike rally that was down on the seafront, because I live by the sea, so we get wonderful seaside events going on. And they were both kind of like mentioning to me their concern at their unpreparedness for the GDPR, and that is the General Data Protection Regulations. What I'm going to talk to you about now actually does tie in with the conversation I was having with a couple of my girlfriends / clients over the weekend. I've got some statistics that I'd like to start out with today, and these statistics come from the British Chamber of Commerce in a study that they did earlier this year. 1 in 5 UK businesses has been hit by a cyber attack, and these are businesses of all sizes, not necessarily just the really big companies that we all think are the only target to cyber criminals. Of this 20%, 42 were companies that had more than 100 employees, and 18% were companies with less than 99 employees. The British Chamber of Commerce asked them how many of them relied on their IT service providers to resolve the problem after they'd experienced some kind of cyber attack. 63% said that they would turn to their IT providers for help and support should that happen, compared with only 12% from the bank and financial sector, and only 2% from the police and other types of UK law enforcement. 21% of the companies believe that the threat of cybercrime is preventing company growth. Now, this is really alarming. Of all the companies surveyed, only 25% had a cybersecurity accreditation in place. Now, we're talking about a huge spectrum of companies here, from the very, very big to the very, very small, to the absolutely minute self-employed person. Only 25%. To me, that's a real shocker, especially as we're moving into an era now where the GDPR, as it's known as in its shorthand, or the General Data Protection Regulation coming across from the EU, which Theresa May has said that post-Brexit, the UK is actually going to follow that legislation, which is very, very robust, which also has significantly high penalties attached to it should you be attacked and lose data. 4% of your turnover, and this of saying global, well, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a really small company and you happen to be trading in Europe or abroad and you've got data stolen, even though you might not be a major multinational, you're still trading globally, and you are going to be hit with 4% of your turnover as a fine. You know, we really need to be doing this better if we're to protect ourselves, protect our businesses, and protect our customers, our employees, our chain of supply. All of this stuff needs to be protected. And this means that, unfortunately, all businesses, all organisations of all sizes within the UK are vulnerable to attack, in spite of, for the very large companies, the really, really significant and quite huge investments that they've made in cybersecurity systems. Now, one of the key reasons why companies and UK businesses are still open to attack, including the well-resourced ones, is a failure in doing the basics well. And the number one basic is your password. Passwords are the easiest way for hackers to get into your system. Doesn't matter whether it's your laptop, your phone, your PC, or your company's computer network. Passwords is the way that they get in. What they do is they do online searches for user IDs and passwords from previous breaches. At the end of this talk, I'm going to put a link up where you can actually go and have a look yourself at the companies and just how much data has been stolen from really big name companies that we all use and all trust, that's floating around in the wild on the dark net. Passwords are like toothbrushes. You never share them, and you change them frequently. Getting a really good password manager would definitely be a good idea, because when you've got a password manager, all you have to do is remember one password, and the password manager will help you to manage the rest. The other thing is that wherever possible, wherever you're offered two-step authentication to who you might be, use it. Take whatever service is offering you two-step authentication, take them up on their offer, because that way, even if a cyber criminal has stolen your ID and your password, if they don't have that second step, they can't break in. So your user ID and your password then becomes really quite useless to the cyber criminal. The other thing that makes it so easy for cyber criminals to attack British business is that very few people or organisations know exactly what their most important data assets are. Cybersecurity, in the same way that regular security, if the basics are done well, one, it doesn't have to cost you a fortune in terms of initial outlay, and secondly, it will protect you against secondary costs and secondary losses in the event that something goes wrong. So I hope you've enjoyed tonight's Ares Cyber Essential Live with me, Anna. I'll be back again next week, Tuesday the 25th. I'll be here again at 7 p.m. I hope you found this interesting. As I say, if you are interested and want me to talk more about any of the subject matter contained in tonight's talk, please leave me a comment in the comments box below. Otherwise, I would like to wish you a fabulous evening. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to each other. Love you loads. See you next week. Good night.